Hey, good friends, it is that time again. We got another one, another one, another one. That song lives rent-free in this brain of mine often, all day, sometimes, and definitely often, like often. Anywho, we got another good sale for you from Joma's shop focused on Father's Day, although I'm not going to talk about men's fragrances in this video. There are lots of women's fragrances featured in the sale, and it's for Parfums de Marley and Bond Number 9. Those are the two brands featured in the sale for this weekend only. It launches today at the time that this video is posting and goes through Sunday night. So if you're interested in sales for the fragrances that I talk about, or ones in the pinned comment, because I'll leave some more recommendations down below, definitely check it out this weekend. And I welcome you to shop through my affiliate link down below if you're interested in doing so. And if you do so, thank you ahead of time for your support of this channel. Y'all know I like to give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 fragrances in a video sometimes. But for the sake of brevity, Jesus be with me, I'm going to give you just 8 fragrances, 4 from Parfums de Marley and 4 from Bond Number 9 that I think are lovely for my lady viewers or my gentleman viewers that like feminine leaning fragrances here for the spring, late spring, as we go into summertime, okay? But there will be other recommendations in the comments, and there are some usual suspects from both brands that are on sale this weekend. Pretty big sales too. And let me tell you, most of the collections that I've amassed from these brands has been through these Joma shop sales, because I shop the sales too. These were not sent to me. I bought all of these fragrances with my little money. Let's get into it. So before we start, let me share with you a little tip about Joma shop. And if you're the type of person that's very impatient and you want your fragrances to arrive quickly, when you shop on that site, know that they have a vast network of providers that supply them with fragrances that are vetted, authenticated, and come to you. And sometimes it means that shipping can be a little bit slow as they work with their provider network. If you like a fragrance to arrive quickly, when you pull up the listing, make sure you are looking on it to say that it ships in 1 to 2 days. Okay? And then you will get your fragrance within a week, at the maximum in the second week after you order it. However, there are some fragrances that will be 3 to 4 weeks out and sometimes longer. For example, I just ordered Alexander J Oriental Enigma, I believe is the name of the fragrance. Gorgeous bottle. But it said on there, it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to ship. So I knew to be patient for a month or longer before that fragrance was mailed out. And let me tell you something, at the prices that Joma shop is able to provide us, I'm happy to wait. However, just know that ahead of time. That may save you some angst with Joma shop. And make sure that you're looking to see whether the fragrance is a tester or not. So if you're someone that likes your product to be retail off the shelf ready, packaged the way that you would expect, make sure you are not purchasing a tester. Sometimes those are in different boxes and might be missing caps to provide you with a more affordable price. Enough of that. I'm going to share with you 4 Parfums de Marley fragrances that I think are fantastic for this time of year and that I would urge you to check out because I love them so much. Mind you, the usual suspects, Delina and Delina Exclusive, are on sale this weekend. So definitely check out those prices. And very quickly, Delina's on sale for $198.99 and Delina Exclusive is on sale for $236.99. So over 40% off for both of those, which is a pretty big bargain. All right, so then one of the fragrances I'm looking forward to wearing the most as the weather warms up even further here is this gorgeous beauty, Delina La Rosée, which is a flanker to Delina and Delina Exclusive. We call them the trinity of the Delina fragrances. This is such a lovely, watery, rose, peony, pear, lychee fragrance with some woody notes in the base, but it's very light, it's very watery, it's very refreshing, it's very feminine. It screams late spring, summer vibes, and it's like all things feminine. It smells like the packaging, or the bottle here rather, looks. So if you look at the aesthetic of this bottle and think about the fact that it's frosted, it's sort of see-through, it's translucent, you know, it doesn't impose itself on you. That's a lot of what the fragrance itself feels like on you. However, do not be fooled, friends, into thinking that this means that the fragrance doesn't have projection and lasts long, because I think it does both. I love the airiness of this, the freshness, the aquatic sort of watery nature of it. It's definitely floral, happy, and fun, and all things girly, and it's hard to go wrong with this for spring. This right now is sitting out on the website at $195.99, so 45% off of retail price. One of my top recommendations. And then you've all heard about my fragrance of the day, which is the gorgeous Oriana. Love the name Oriana. This fragrance is a little bit of citrus and a lot of like fluffy, marshmallowy types of notes at the top. It has a fruity raspberry feature and some musky tones as it starts to dry down, but it remains sort of fluffy and like powdery, marshmallowy-esque, fruity and slightly citrusy as it continues. Really neat fragrance, very feminine as well. I would say La Rosée is a lot sort of lighter in texture. This one has a little bit more depth to it. The two that I'm going to talk about next have even more density and texture to them than this one does. But think of this as like fruity, marshmallow, musky deliciousness. Gorgeous, like princess vibes with this. Oriana is on sale this weekend for $206.99. Then a current sweetheart in the YouTube fragrance community, no doubt about it, is the gorgeous Valaya. So I've talked about the fact that when I sampled this fragrance, I thought it was okay, but wasn't that, interested in a bottle of it. Then tried it again in store. As I always say, spraying from the bottle is sometimes different than spraying from a sample or a decant. And I don't mean to imply that it's different juice in them. I don't mean that at all. I just mean having the bottle and the actual atomizer and spraying it on you as a full body wear is sometimes different than just sampling in a specific spot. So this fragrance right now is sitting out on the Joma Shop website for $224.99. I fell in love with this fragrance upon sampling it, and you don't need a lot. As you can see, I haven't gone through a lot of this. And it's morphing a little bit here as it sits in my collection longer. I get mostly a citrusy, musk, like clean, laundry-esque type of vibe from here. It is super duper powerhouse, like beast mode fragrance. A few sprays will do you just fine, project off of you into the distance. Great sillage, and it'll last all day on you. A lot of people report that this is super beast mode on them and very impressive in terms of compliments that it gets and attention that it gets from other folks. Really gorgeous fragrance. Love the frosted white bottle here. There are some florals in it. If you've tried Fleur Narcotique from Ex Nihilo, there are some similarities. However, I find this one to be a little bit more citrus forward, and for that reason, even more appropriate for warm weather, so long as, friends, you don't spray and go crazy on this. So while this one is the strongest and longest lasting of the three that I just talked about, I do want to talk about a fourth Parfums de Marley fragrance that is maybe thicker in density in terms of the scent profile. So let's get into that one. It's Father's Day, but this is like one of the most Mother's Day types of fragrances for me. This is the beautiful Safanad. This one is newer to my collection. I haven't had a chance to play with it much except for a couple of wears and a little bit of testing here and there. A lot of people regard this as an orange blossom fragrance, and I agree with that, but I think it's also equal parts of vanilla. Orange blossom and vanilla. There's a pear note and some other sort of sweetness in the fragrance, and in the dry down there's a little bit of a woody aspect that comes through from a sandalwood note and a little bit of like warm honey goldenness from an amber accord in the fragrance. This is a little bit more on the matronly and mature side than the other fragrances that I've mentioned. Of the ones that I've talked about, I would say maybe Oriana has the more youthful profile of the four that I've mentioned. This one has the most mature one, but I think it is elegant and classy and beautiful. Just floral, enveloping, comforting elegance, if that's a thing. Really neat fragrance. Safanad is available for $224.99. So highly recommend this one if you're an orange blossom fan, and the idea of orange blossom and the thickness of vanilla and sandalwood and maybe that nice sweet pear note combine to give you this sort of matronly, feminine wiles, but in a motherly way. Could we say MILF? Is that okay for primetime YouTube? Maybe this gives MILF vibes or something. MILF. Am I going to get banned for saying things like that? Yeah. Check out Safanad. Let's move on to 4 recommendations from Bond number 9. And no, the new one that's called, what is it called? New York Flowers. It's actually not part of the sale. I'm sorry. But I think it is available on Joma Shop. I want to recommend, as the lightest of the 4 Bond number 9s that I am going to feature here, Highline. So, I've shared lots of stories about Highline in New York City. It's down on the lower, oh my gosh, I'm disoriented. the lower west side. West side? It's on the it's down on the lower west side, and it's an elevated railroad track that's no longer used, like abandoned, and has been transformed into gardens with a walkway through it. And so it's elevated over the ground. You're maybe like a story and a half or 2 stories over the ground. And it's really lovely in the sense that as you're going through the walkway, you can stop in certain places and look down the avenues at the vistas. And in some places can see really great views of the skyscrapers of New York. And there's certainly views ahead of you of some of the observatories. Well, one of the observatories, not some, just one of the observatories that you can see jutting out of one of the buildings out in front of you. But back to the fragrance. It is what it looks like on the bottle. This is a very fresh, uplifting, light-wearing, grassy type of scent. So if you are missing Gap grass and would like a more sort of grown-up version of that, here you go. I believe there is a hyacinth note in here that is unique. And hyacinth adds this almost like purpley tone with a little bit of sense of like white floral as well. It has like even though it's a purple flower, it's combined, if you will, in terms of the way that it smells, like a soapy, violety, white floral combination is what hyacinth smells like to me. There's a little bit of citrus. It really doesn't matter. The point is it's grassy and it's uplifting and it's refreshing and it's very crowd pleasing. When I have worn this a couple of times, and you can see that I have doused myself in this because I just love this so much. My family loves it, and I've gotten a few compliments out in public about smelling fresh and clean. What? So fresh and so clean. Yes. Highline gives you that. Highline is available. The 3.4 ounce is out there at $179.99, which I think is a steal for this. This is the 1.7 ounce that I have. And that's out there too. The 1.7 ounce, this size is $109.99, which I feel like is a steal for this really fantastic, clean, uplifting fragrance. Another super crowd-pleasing Bond No. 9 fragrance with perhaps a tacky bottle. It's debatable. Ooh, this one is called Nolita with the lips. There's a version of this that has Swarovski crystals on this particular mouth, and I haven't been able to get my hands on that. This is a 1.7 ounce that's sitting out there for $131.99, and the full-size bottle, 3.38 ounces, is $174.99. This is citrus and white florals combined with sandalwood in the base. I find this to be refreshing, uplifting, crowd-pleasing, very feminine, a little bit denser than Highline, but still sort of fairly light-wearing. It reminds me somewhat of the nature of Astor Place, which was another one that I was going to recommend here. So I'm kind of cheating and adding in a 5th Bond No. 9. And I think Astor Place is, yes, I'm looking at it right here, is part of the sale as well. If you're into Astor Place, y'all, wait a minute. The full 3.4 ounce of Astor Place is $131.99. Shut the front door. That is a complete steal, so get yourself a bottle of that. Beautiful floral fragrance. Astor Place is a little bit thicker. This one is a little bit sort of lighter wearing. This one is a little bit lighter in texture, but it's got nice projection, decent longevity, and is definitely a crowd pleaser. There's I think it's a mandarin note, and then if I remember correctly, it's lily, and what is the other note? Freesia, that's here in the opening of this fragrance and pretty much stays throughout the life of it. As it settles down, there is a more sort of rosy, peony aspect that comes out. I don't know if peony's in the fragrance. Rose is listed as a note, along with a musky sandalwood base. However, this stays fairly fresh, fruity, floral, and a very light, crisp, clean, like bouquet type of floral. And it's really pretty. It's a very, very crowd-pleasing. You can't go wrong with Nolita. One of my favorites in this sale is called Gold Coast in this sort of holographic bottle here. I love the freshness and aquatic nature of this fragrance. It smells kind of sort of how it looks. It's got apple and it's got watermelon and it's got other sort of fresh, light wearing fruit fragrances. It's very watery and has a little bit of musk in the base. I think this is so beautiful. Some people regard this as a mostly rosy fragrance, and yes, there is rose in the composition. It's got like that same sort of rose peony vibe that maybe Delina La Rose has. This is so good. Really just light, fresh, refreshing, long wearing. This has nice projection off of you for a while and is moderate to long lasting. And I just think it's great and fresh and aquatic. and uplifting, like a really refreshing, bright, light fragrance. A little melony, a little sweet, a little floral, musky, slightly, ever so slightly woody in the base. Really, really delightful. And this one, the 3.3 ounce, which is what I have in my hand, is $178.99, which is quite a steal for this gorgeous fragrance. But you need to like a transparent, aquatic type of fragrance. Like, I feel like this is the Bond No. 9 cousin to Delina La Rose. These are friends from different families that get along very well and have a lot of the same sort of mannerisms and all of that. So there you go. And then, you know, a fragrance from Bond No. 9 that I've fallen in love with in recent years. I didn't enjoy it when I tested it. I thought it smelled like bad breath. When I first tested it, I was like, what the hell is this? And why is everyone into it? And then I took a chance one day and purchased the bottle because I found it on sale. It is the absolutely, so my sampling experience was obviously not accurate. The freaking gorgeous Greenwich Village. This one is so difficult for me to describe because it's equal parts musky and maybe sweet gourmandy and musky and airy and fresh. And it's all the things. It's a little bit like enigmatic and mysterious that way, in that it is like all the fragrances all in one, and it all works, and it especially shines in the warm weather and in the summer. There's something really sort of easy breezy, beautiful cover girl about this fragrance. Folks have compared it a little bit to BR 540. I think it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of the gourmand aspects of Tribeca, if you have tried that one from Bond No. 9, which is also part of this sale. And it's got just this gorgeous sweetness. There's some interesting notes in here. I definitely get more and more as I try this, that ambroxan and praline and musk and vanilla in the base. But at the top, there are these fresh, beautiful florals and musk. This is delightful. Everyone loves this on me. It's very difficult to describe. Some of the accords are fresh, musky, floral, fruity. Yes, it's all of those things all at once. And it's a little bit mysterious and difficult to describe, but really, really good. The 1.7 ounce of this is $179.99. And the full bottle, which this is $205.99, which I think is a steal. For a long time, you couldn't get this fragrance on sale. It came on the market at like $400 and some odd dollars. Oh my God. And now it's available on sale in the past few years. And maybe one of my favorites. It's the densest, I think, of the Bond No. 9s that I suggested today, but definitely not the densest in the range. In fact, the 4 that I've mentioned stay on the light wearing, very spring, summer type of vibes that you can wear year round though. They hold their own. Like, this will hold its own in the winter. It really will. But it's the kind of fragrance where you drop the top on your convertible, if you have one, pop the top on your Jeep, whatever vehicle you drive, put your windows down, put the sunroof open, whatever you need to do to get a breeze flowing and have your best, like, living la vida loca kind of life. So those are my best recommendations from the sale that's happening this weekend. Remember to use the code DAD at checkout. And if you feel so inclined, use my affiliate link below to shop to your heart's content. I hope you get some goodies, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, I almost forgot to say, for those of you that are here still to the end and you want to hear about some of the men's recommendations, I'll actually have in the description box some links to videos that are no longer available to the public, but that you can access through my link if you want to get additional recommendations for Bond No. 9 and or Parfums de Marley. Check out the links below. Those are from prior sales. Sales are over. However, they're still in my channel and available through special link for those of you that are interested. So I hope you enjoyed these recommendations. Enjoy your shopping this weekend, and let us know what you plan to pick up in the comments. Take care, friends.